Hi y'all, welcome back to my channel, and if you are new here, my name is Alexia, also known as MJ Alleyway. I'm going to be doing something a little bit different today than normal, but I thought it would be fun. So I watch a lot of YouTube whenever I'm crocheting, and I watch a lot of Reddit stories by Two Hot Takes and Smosh as well. So I thought, why don't I read some Reddit stories that involve crochet, knitting, crafting, all of the sorts, while you guys work on your projects. Why not, right? So today I am working on making a monster from, I'll just show you. I got this book. This is by Crafty Intentions, and you can pick like different body parts to put together your monster from, like, you know, you can put like these legs and that legs, whatever. So right now I am about to do 13 rows of single crochet, and so that's what I'm gonna do while I read these stories. So let's just get right into it. So a lot of these stories I just read like the title and maybe like a comment or two just to get an idea, and I just saved them. So a lot of them I have not read yet, so I will be reading them with y'all and listening to them at the same time. Okay, so this first one, it says, okay, so it's from Relationship Advice, and it says, is it inappropriate for me, female 28, to give my coworker, male 30, a handmade stuffed animal for his birthday? Okay, let's see what this is about. My coworker and I had become fast friends, and I wanted to get him something for his upcoming birthday. I've started crocheting and thought it would be nice to make him a stuffed toy of his favorite animal. I have done this numerous times for other friends, and actually originally wasn't going to do this for him, but when I mentioned my crochet hobby in passing, he hinted at his favorite animal, so here we are. Anyway, my friend is married, I've met his wife a couple times, and we've gotten along, but my anxiety is making me worry that if I do this, I might make her uncomfortable. So my question is for the folks in a relationship more than anything. If your partner received a handmade personal gift from their coworker, how would that make you feel? Would it be a red flag? Should I do something less personal as a gift? For the record, I don't have any feelings for my friend or ill will towards his wife. I'm just an anxious person who overthinks, so any advice would be helpful. Yeah, I don't think giving a handmade gift to somebody who is a coworker and is married is appropriate. That's just me, and it's just like, I'm not a jealous person. I don't like, I just think that a handmade gift is really, it's just really personal. And so if you don't know them well enough and they are married, yeah, I just think that I wouldn't even give, I don't know. If you're like really close with your coworker, I understand giving them a gift and whatnot, but it just becomes touchy when your coworker is married. Then I don't think that giving any type of gift, honestly, besides a happy birthday, is appropriate. Again, I'm not a jealous person, and I don't know how I would personally react. Like, it would really depend on how comfortable you are in your own relationship, but I'm just speaking for the general public. I think that it's just probably not. It's probably not. Don't do that. Just probably not. Let's see what the comments say. Yeah, no, not if he's married. Nope, too personal. Gift for coworker is paying for his lunch when going with a group. I would say hold off if you wouldn't do it for another coworker. No, it can make things weird and uncomfortable. Honestly, it's a little too personal. As his wife, I'd find it weird. Yeah, that's the general consensus here. So yeah, let me know down in the comments how you feel about any of these stories and posts. This one is in Relationship Advice from 4 years ago, a little old, but let's see. It says, my girlfriend has been taking credit for my crafts. Am I unreasonable for being mad at her? Interesting. Bit of a backstory. I like to knit and sew. I learned how when I was a little kid, and my gran would care for me a lot. She taught me how. Knitting is my main thing, but partial but I'm also partial to a bit of embroidery, cross stitch, and quilting. Naturally, I have several things I've made around my flat. This includes, key to the situation, a quilt my gran and I made together in her last weeks of life, which is my most treasured thing. So on to the current situation. I've been seeing this woman, 28 female, for close to a year now, and I really do like her a lot. We don't live together yet, but she spends quite a lot of time at my flat. She's a bit of a selfie queen and always snapping pics of herself. This doesn't bother me, but it's relevant. I ran into one of her friends while doing some errands, and we got to chatting. I had a hat I knitted myself, and she complimented and asked if my girlfriend made it for me. I said no, I did, and her friend said, "Oh cool, you knit too? Did she teach you?" I was a little taken back at the question because my girlfriend definitely does not know how to knit. I've tried to teach her several times, but she never got the hang of it, and she, by her own admission, doesn't have the patience to put that much time into something she finds genuinely tedious. I told the friend that my girlfriend doesn't know how to knit. She kind of made a face and said, "Are you sure?" She's always posting pictures of stuff she made to that Instagram account, and she made other friends that and she made another friend that hat, scarf, and glove set for her birthday. I asked which Instagram account she meant because her main is mostly selfies, and the friend showed me a side account I wasn't aware of, where my girlfriend was posting stuff knitted and sewed and claiming it as her own. This includes a picture of my special quilt. I kind of brushed it off with the friend, but decided to confront my girlfriend about it later. Yo, this is wild. Like, I don't understand people sometimes. Later on, before she got back, I scrolled right through the Insta and saw it's been on the go for a good 8 months or so. She had pictures of pretty much every handmade thing in my flat, posted with captions claiming she made them herself. She must have been taking pictures almost every time she came over, but I guess I didn't notice because I'm so used to her taking selfies that I don't really pay attention when she starts taking photos. I kept coming back to the quilt post and getting more and more annoyed because she fully posted it using my story, and my gran and stuff. That's so weird. Just pretending it was about her. I also couldn't stop thinking about the hat, scarf, and gloves she gave her friend and apparently claimed she made it. I made those on my girlfriend's request to be a gift from the both of us. If you knit or sew or anything, you know how much time goes into making things. I think I'm mostly upset that she's discrediting all of that and claiming it as her own. When she got home, I asked her about it and she laughed and said it wasn't a big deal. I said it was to me for the above reasons, and she got upset with me and started crying. She said that she's sorry she's not as creative as I am, and that I think I'm better than her. She's sorry for trying to do a nice thing for her friend. All right, this is a little narcissistic here. The knitted set, and she's sorry she wanted to show off cool, pretty things to people. I said I didn't mind her showing my work, but why did she take credit for it? She just cried harder and called me a bully and then left the flat. I guess she told some of her friends because I've had a few texts in the 2 days since this happened. One of them agreed that her claiming credit for my stuff is weird and not okay, and the other agreed with her and I'm bullying and made her cry for no reason. I guess my questions here are twofold. Am I making a mountain out of a molehill? What do I do going forward with this? Oh my goodness gracious. Woo! That was a doozy. Okay. So I feel as though this girlfriend is, I think that, I hate to throw out these terms, but I think she's a little narcissistic by putting everything, like when she's, caught doing what she's doing and she just says like, "Oh, sorry, I'm not as creative as you, and, you think you're better than me and whatever." It's like, no, bro, like, no. You could also just learn how to do these things. Like, you could take the time to learn, and if you really don't want to, that's fine. Like, that, I just think that I would 100% break up with somebody for doing some weird shit like that, but that's just me. I think that's weird, but let's see what the top comment says. No, you're not overreacting at all. This is some bizarre ass behavior, and personally, I think it would be a big enough red flag to end the relationship. For 8 months, she had a secret Instagram account, posting pictures of everything you've made, lying to everyone, taking credit for your work, and using your history, grandma's story, as her own. Yeah, that's weird. Said, that's effing creepy. I'd run the other way. This is just a no. This is a, end that relationship. Y'all are too young, and she is too crazy. Simple as that. So this one is a little different. This one's under Craft Snark. So this person says, I found this post randomly scrolling through Instagram. I have written a transcript of the video in question. This is also titled, This is Why I'm Against Free Crochet Patterns. So this is a transcript from the video that they saw. So this is why I'm against free crochet patterns. It took 100 hours to craft a $6 pattern for this blanket, ensuring it's correct and user-friendly, and yet many still opt for free patterns, devaluing the work of creators. What's your take on this? Should we value pattern making as much as our finished creations? And this person says, now this is an interesting question, so I'm posing it here. Her comments seem to indicate that the point she was trying to make was that patterns are not free to make because they take time and money to make. And of course it's not free, but like all hobbies take time and money to make. Would giving gifts of your finished work be devaluing the craft because you're giving it for free when it's not really free? She seems to understand the value of free patterns according to her comments, so why make the post? Her pinned post on her profile is a video with a caption basically detailing her patterns versus free patterns. Video shows, among other things, the free pattern that's floppy and uneven and her pattern that stands up and is rigid. Now her patterns are pretty cheap, and I myself have no problem buying patterns, but having several posts, including one pin that's basically amounts to free patterns suck, you should buy my patterns instead. It feels condescending. I understand people gotta advertise, but I wouldn't buy her patterns because of this advertising. Also, it doesn't help that her profile picture is AI generated, so much for valuing the paid work of artists, I guess. People were pointing that out in the comments of the video, and she was being disingenuous and making comments that AI can't make patterns well, when she knows full and well what the comments are talking about. What do you guys think anyway? Okay, so I don't know who this creator is who posted this on Instagram because I'm just focusing on Reddit right now, so I don't know who this is. But I am gonna say that from this post, I would not buy from this person either. Just from reading from this post, if this is true, how this is all going down, because free patterns, like, if somebody wants to create something and give it away for free, what does it matter? I think that's a problem that like is faced in like the hobby craft world, is that like some people make things to make a living and some people make things just for a hobby. And when you're like in that realm of like hobby, like crafting, crochet, whatever, you can't get mad at people for giving away their stuff for free, whether it's a pattern, whether it's their items. If they're selling them for really cheap at a market or something like that, like you can't get frustrated with them because they might not care. It's a hobby. They don't care. Like, they're just doing it because they enjoy it and because it's fun. They're not doing it to build a business or to make a bunch of money. And there are a lot of very successful pattern creators that have free patterns and paid patterns. I think that when people create something, they can do whatever the hell they want with it. Like, they can make it free. They can make it $1,000. They can do whatever the hell they want, and then they don't owe that to anybody. Like, they don't owe it to anybody else. Like, I have paid for patterns that completely and absolutely sucked, and I have, you know, used free patterns that are amazing. And I think that a lot of the times, like, free patterns for something that's like simple, that there's like a lot of patterns of, yeah, I mean, it makes sense to just have it be free. But at the end of the day, like, people can charge whatever they want or charge nothing at all. It doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. Like, that's the creator. They can do whatever the hell they want. And if your patterns are so good and your designs are so good and everything like that, then people will pay for it. It's simple as that. People will pay for it. You don't have to discredit other people or knock other people. Your work should just speak for itself. So that's how I feel about that one. Let's just read a couple comments. This says, it's up to the creator if they want to make a free pattern. Oftentimes it is free because they are generating ad revenue off of a blog or YouTube, and that is how they are making money from the pattern. What drives me nuts is when people have paid patterns for things that already exist for free all over the internet. This says, should I not eat the free samples at Costco because it devalues the paid products? The general consensus here is that, like, the person who creates it can do whatever the hell they want. Like, that's that. Yeah, it's really weird to post about knocking free patterns and saying that people should pay for their patterns. I don't get it, but people can do whatever they want. Some of these are like super unhinged, and I'm like not sure if they are like appropriate depending on who's listening. I'd have to make like a whole another video of just like, hey, if you young, don't watch this, thanks. Haven't read this one yet either. So this is in our crochet. It says, why are some older crocheters so mean to new crocheters? All right, so I was at a craft group recently, and I was crocheting tonight, and the memory came back to me. I was there doing my thing, and there were two other crocheting. This is all paraphrasing because I don't remember their words exactly, but my friend, she's in her mid-20s. She was talking about how she found a tool online that's supposed to help you make a magic circle. The other lady who was crocheting, she looked about late 50s, started laughing. When she realized we were both looking at her like she grew a second head, she went, "Oh, you're serious?" We both kind of gave her this "what are you on" and about look, and she continued to say unprompted that a magic circle wasn't that hard to make. And something along the lines of, if you can't even make a magic circle, why are you even crocheting? She said some other things, but it was super clear she was looking down on my friend for being new to crocheting. I know me personally, it took me months to figure out the magic circle. This is just a pattern I've seen of older crocheters being mean to people who are new to the craft. I genuinely don't understand it. I've seen people do similar things in this sub on occasion, and it's just like, for what? Let me just see what these comments say. Okay, so here's the top comment. I believe that some people forget what it's like to be young and learning something new. They've been crocheting so long and started so young that the phase of their life where they would have loved to have more help has faded from their memory. So they have very little sympathy for people who don't understand something that seems inherently easy to them. I also feel like people don't realize that not everyone started as a child or being taught by someone older in their family willing to sit down and teach them each little skill. There's a knowledge gap because crafts and home economics were devalued, and older folks lived in a world where everyone learned these skills. I have definitely seen this to be a habit out in the world, where people who are experts in their craft, regardless of what it is, like to feel like they are better, and therefore like devaluing like people who are newer, who are just starting out. And I think it's important to like yeah, a magic circle to me, magic ring, whatever, is so easy. It is like I can do it with my eyes closed, I could do it in my sleep. Like, it is so easy for me. At one point it wasn't, and even if it was, for other people it might not, like, you know, it might be difficult. It might be way more, it is a difficult thing. It is definitely a difficult thing for people who are starting out crocheting, and some people might catch on really quick and some people might not. I learned how to crochet when I was very, very, very young, taught by my great grandmother. I did not learn how to do a magic ring until a couple years ago, because I never did amigurumi. And I think that saying like, if you can't even do that, then why are you crocheting in general, is a bit unhinged. Because I mean, we all know, like, I just feel like we know, like, that's just somebody who, I don't know, just like, yeah, just wants to make you feel less than, and feel like they're superior. It's just, that's just ridiculous. It's a craft, it's a hobby. You practice and you get better and you learn things. And I can't speak exactly for that older woman, because I'm not an older woman, but I am older than people out there who crochet. And I could, like, I feel as though if I was in that situation and somebody said that and they were young, you know, like teenager or whatever, I would be like, oh, like, let me show you how I do it, and let me try to teach you how I do it. And I know, you know, that it's difficult, but just keep practicing. Like, I don't know. This is definitely a common thing. Let me know down in the comments if you've ever experienced something like this. Okay, so I will be reading one more. So this is in our crochet. It says, crocheting as a guy. I've been a lurker for some time here, and since this community is lovely, I have a topic for you people. I'm a 29-year-old guy who is looking for a new hobby, and somehow crocheting looks like a very relaxing and almost therapeutic hobby. I wanted to look into it. However, when I told my family about it, they looked at me weirdly, and they told me that I am free to try it, but I should never tell it to anyone. And others might think that I am not a straight guy, or I simply went bonkers. What do you guys think about this? Can a straight guy try crocheting without being labeled as something? Well, this, it's always like a shame to me whenever I hear like people who have like such judgmental like family members and stuff. It's like, I don't know, I know that's like a common thing, but it's like, you should just support the person in your life regardless. And it's a freaking craft, it's a freaking hobby. Who cares? Like, there are straight guys who do ballet, and it don't matter. Like, it's not a like a gendered like sexuality labeled craft. Like, that's unhinged. That is unhinged for sure. That's crazy. I think that you can do whatever you want and crochet and learn new hobbies and different things, and that doesn't define your sexuality or define your gender or any of that. Like, it has nothing to do with that. It's like, I always tell my daughter, like, when she says certain things, like, only boys do that or only girls do that, and it's like, yeah, with certain things maybe, but not really. Like, anything you can do, I can do better. But like, no, for real, like, you can, yeah, I think that you can crochet and not be labeled as gay or not straight or feminine in any way. If I saw a guy crocheting or knitting, it would not go to my mind, oh, he's not straight. I'd be like, oh, that's cool, because you don't see a lot of guys crocheting and knitting, and I think it has a lot to do with this family's view. Yeah, but let me know in the comments below if you want me to read more Reddit stories. There are tons of stuff that is related to crafting and art in general. It seems as though today I gravitated more towards the ones that were crochet and knitting and stuff, but there are other ones that are just like other types of crafts and stuff. There are ones that are like definitely unhinged, like crazy, not appropriate for a young audience, that I can also make a separate video on. There's just like Reddit just keeps on giving. Like it's the amount of stories and stuff like that on here for me to read is insane, and I just love listening to Reddit stories. So let me know in the comments your opinion on any of these posts, and if you have any stories that are relatable, and if you enjoyed this video. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe for more. And until next time, bye.